Hey, what's good, you guys? It's your girl, Marilyn E., and I'm back with episode 2 of Sis, I Get It, the podcast. Either way, this one is about to get a little bit real, you guys, because I'm going to give y'all the story time of what happened the last time I caught myself getting my candy crushed. And sis, if you don't know what I mean when I say getting my candy crushed, girl, you get it. I'm saying we grown, you get it. Either way, at the end of the day, we all know that especially if you're a Christian proclaiming, or professing to be a believer in Jesus, we ain't supposed to be having no relations, all right, for lack of a better word. We're not supposed to be fornicating. We should not be on that type of time, period. But I'm being super transparent. Back in March, I had a moment. I have repented. Me and God are good, and I assure you, unless I get married, it will never happen again. But I really believe I was dealing with a spirit of lust back then. Like, I ain't even gonna front y'all because I was just hot and ready like Little Caesar's Pizza, child. Like, your girl was ready. But I was also listening to Tony Gaskins. I'm heavy on Tony Gaskins. He is the truth. If y'all don't know who he is, just check him out on YouTube. But I remember him in one of his videos, he was like, you do not have no homeboys or no male friends that don't want to, and I gotta watch my words, but that don't want to have relations with you. Again, girl, just read between the lines. So I'm thinking, okay, I don't have a lot of homeboys, but I don't think they don't see me like that. Now, one of them, we don't talk no more, but he told me straight up, if he had the chance, he would do what grown folks do. He said it, he meant it, we never did it, thanks be to God. But had we like met up or whatever, because he lives in North Carolina, but had we met up, it probably would have gone down. So God knew what he was doing in that regard, because I'm in Texas, he out there, stay where you at, and we good. But I asked one of my homeboys, again, I was hot and ready, y'all. It was just, I was having a moment, I really was. So I just randomly texted him. I was like, now mind you, he lives in a whole nother state, not in Texas, a whole other state. So I texted him and I was like, hey, what's good? I have something to ask you, but I don't want to come off weird. This man texts back within like 2 minutes. He was like, what's up? Like, just ask me. All right, you said to ask you. So I was like, so I was listening to Tony Gaskins and he was like, told him what the video said. And I said, have you ever seen me in that way? Why did I ask that man that? Why the heck did I ask that man that? So he was like, actually, yeah, I have, but I would never make the first move. So I was like, what in the world? Now, mind y'all, I've never really been attracted to him in that way. This is how I know I was dealing with, had to be a demon. I'm not going to front. I'm not going to hold y'all up. It was the spirit of lust, literally. Because I ain't even see you like that. Like, boy. So I was like, wow, whatever. So I'm thinking, okay, let it go. Again, he in a whole nother state. We are nowhere near each other. So he texted me back later that day. He was like, how far are you from such and such city? Now, I'm not going to tell y'all the city, because if anybody watches this and if they have any type of detective skills like me, they going to piece it together. And we ain't doing that. So he was like, how far are you from such and such city? I was like, maybe an hour and a half, something like that. Not too far. He was like, okay, bet, because me and my group, we going to be singing, performing out there or whatever, and it'll be cool to see you, for you to come and watch us perform or whatever, minister, perform, whatever. I was like, okay, cool. Just send me the flyer, send me the deets, and I'm in there. By the grace of God, I'm there. So mind y'all, I knew what I had asked him, but I was not thinking that I'm about to take this little road trip to do nothing crazy, like not at all. So I went to see him, drove to the city. It was a cool little concert or whatever. And afterwards, okay, wait, I gotta go back. So if you know, you know. If you don't know, I'm gonna tell you. In December of last year, I had a hysterectomy. I asked my doctor at I think it was the 8-week appointment. I said, so how long before I'm able to do physical activity? Mind y'all, I wasn't even thinking about that. I was thinking rock climbing, Pilates, jogging, getting my body right, like working out type stuff. I'm an Army vet. I'm here for that type of, physical activity. So she was like, oh, you should be good after 12 weeks. No problem. Bet. That was December. This happened in mid-March, almost week 15. So make a mental note of that. So fast forward, go back to the little concert or whatever. So they did their thing. Afterwards, we sitting in my car, just talking and catching up, because we hadn't seen each other in a minute. We would text from time to time, but we hadn't actually seen each other or like really got up with each other in a minute. It had been 3-4+ years. So that was that. And again, I'm not thinking about hunching. I was not thinking about that. So we in the car. Now I have to say this too. At that time, before I stopped, I was heavy on the Mary Jane, if you know what I'm saying. Heavy on it. So we were in the car. He had some of that. We did that. Again, we talking, kikiing, laughing, catching up, just having a good time in the car. So he was like, you mind taking me to my hotel? Because I guess his group members had their own car, they left. I don't know what was going on. I was like, bet, just put the address in my GPS and I got you, whatever. And we get to the hotel, and actually that's when the Mary Jane, all that, whatever. So we're sitting out there, and it came up. What I said in the text, it happened to come up in the conversation. So I was like, okay, and now mind y'all, I'm still hot and ready, but I didn't go on the road trip to do that. I really went to see y'all perform, and I was gonna take my butt back to Austin. That's where I stayed. So that came up, and I'm like, okay, I'll go inside, we can kick it, chill, whatever. And whatever happens, happens. So I had my fur baby in the car and everything, y'all. But thanks be to God, it wasn't hot, it was cool, it was windy, so that was like a plus. But we'll get to all that. So go inside. We'd already, Mary Jane, we already feeling right, if you know what I'm saying, lit, like on some kite type stuff. So we go inside, and within, I say, 10-15 minutes, it was up, if you know what I'm saying. Took us a while to get started. I'm not gonna shade nobody, but it took a while for things to get started. But once they did, it was good. Until it wasn't, okay? So after it happened, I was laying there, and I'm like, okay, I didn't tell him initially. When I tell y'all, after it happened, I was in the worst pain ever. Like it was like a menstrual cramp times 10, okay? Imagine that. So I'm just laying there like, okay, the pain will subside. I don't know what's happening, but I have not felt this since I had a uterus. Mind y'all, they took that out in December, threw it in the trash. It's not in there no more. Like, why am I feeling like this? But I'm a G. I'm trying to keep it cute. I'm not gonna be like, oh, my stomach. I'm trying to keep it cute. So I'm laying there for like 10-15 minutes. And I guess he figured, something was up. He was like, you good? I was like, yeah, I'm good, thanks. But let me just go. I gotta go to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom. I could barely walk, y'all. The pain was that bad. Like, it was not subsiding. It was not letting up at all. The pain was that bad. So I go in the bathroom, and y'all know after you do that, you have to, in most cases, you have to pee right after. Couldn't even do that. I'm not trying to give too much information, but I'm trying to paint the picture for y'all. So I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, oh, what the heck is happening? Like, bruh. again, the pain was not letting up. So I'm in the bathroom for maybe 15, 20 minutes. And after a while, he tapped on the door. He said, "You good?" And by this time, I'm like, okay, I'm cute, but I can no longer keep it cute because I'm feeling too, it was horrible. The pain was that bad. And I was like, no, bro, like you have to call the ambulance. Like you gotta call because something's happening. So he called. I heard him out, on the other side of the door telling the people, hey, such and such, she's in pain, just telling them whatever. They asking questions, what's your insurance and what kind of, tell them I'm an Army vet, VA, like VA, bro, like just get here, like just get here. So they got there, y'all. I'm on a doggone stretcher, having to get rushed to the doggone ER because the pain, again, it was so bad. Like I've never, ever in my life felt that kind of pain. So I had my shoes and of course they got me dressed. When I say it took a while for me to get dressed because I was in that much pain, I could barely move. It took a minute to get everything back on. But once we did, it was cool. Put my purse, everything was on the stretcher with me, purse, shoes, whatever, all my stuff. So I'm thinking, oh my gosh, my dog in the car, I got the windows cracked, but I'll be back. I shouldn't be here long. Like, I just got to get to the hospital, bro. So I get there. They give me morphine. Best pain meds ever. When I tell y'all, I felt great after about 15, 20 minutes. Felt great. So the OBGYN it was a man. He came in and he was like, so what's going on? Miss Rogers, what's going on? I told him what happened. I said during intercourse, blah, 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 whatever, such and such happened. Y'all get it. Told him what happened. So he was like, well, based on what you're telling us, it sounds like, because I told him about the surgery back in December as well. He said, it sounds like the stitches were not completely healed and it just sounds like they may have ripped during intercourse. I know, okay. So I'm just sitting there listening, okay. And he was like, and if that's the case, we're gonna have to rush you to the OR, prepare you for surgery so we can stitch them back up. I'm like, Lord have mercy. So he get his little tools or whatever so they can check my girlfriend. So I'm laying there, spread wide. He checked, he looking, and lo and be doggone hold, those stitches had done ripped. They were not completely healed, and they had ripped during intercourse. Bruh, when I tell y'all, I had so many emotions going through my mind, like, bruh, I'm mad at my OB for telling me I'm good after 12 weeks. I'm embarrassed slightly. I'm just, because of what happened, he saw me in pain. Like, I'm just all the stuff. You gotta be freaking kidding me. What do you mean they weren't all the way healed? We almost at week 15, bro. Anyway, I had to go to the OR within like maybe, it wasn't immediate, but maybe like an hour later or so. I guess they had to get everything prepped to get the anesthesiologist and do whatever they do. Then I get to the OR, put me to sleep, did the surgery, and they wanted me to stay there because, normally they say, oh, you can't drive yourself, you gotta have somebody, but that was unexpected. That wasn't a planned procedure. So I'm like, y'all, thank y'all for your concern, but I'm gonna get an Uber back to the hotel and I'm gonna get my car and I'm out. I gotta roll. And again, my dog in the car, like, I gotta go. But I did text him. I'm like, hey, check on my baby before y'all leave to go back where y'all going. Check on my baby, please. Make sure she's good. He texts back like, yeah, she's good. She's sitting there. I said, you saw her move? He said, yeah, she put her head up. She was looking at me. I said, okay, cool. She's alive. She good. And again, it was cool outside. God is good. God knew, because Texas is hot. Y'all know. And March is springtime, but it still be super hot sometimes. So it was windy, it was cloudy, so she was good. And again, I had the windows cracked. But I got the Uber, got back to the hotel, had my keys and everything with me. When I tell y'all, I took my butt back to Austin and sat my butt down. I had to go to the pharmacy and get, the pain meds and everything. But that was the most horrible experience ever. And I had no idea that was going to happen. And I'm like, I called my OB because this was Sunday night going into Monday. So when I got home that Monday afternoon, I called him, ma'am, I'm explaining everything. Y'all told me I was good after 12 weeks. It's week 15 almost. What the heck is happening? I need to make an appointment. I need to talk to her. When I say I was P.O., y'all know what I'm saying. I was so hot. So I get there. It was maybe like a couple weeks later. Y'all, I was in there in tears. When I tell y'all it was so traumatizing to have to retell her what happened, I was in there in tears like, ma'am, like I will never hunch again. Ain't no candy crushing, ain't no hunching, ain't no jumping no bones. Like I'm never doing it again because that was very much traumatizing. Like I was legit traumatized. He checked on me or whatever. I'm like, thanks, I'm good, I'll be fine. But that was crazy, y'all. I'm like, again, I know we are not supposed to be fornicating. And I just did a video on TikTok. I reposted it because I did it last year. But a video about how no sin goes unpunished. I don't care what nobody says, especially sexual sins, And I'm like, that's what I get. Again, I was in the worst pain ever. But when I really sat and thought about it, I'm like, that's what you get because you came on to him. That man was minding his good old business. You sent the text. I opened up the door and look what happened. Child, needless to say, like I said, unless I get married again, there will be no more crushing of the candy. There will be no more laying it low, spreading it wide. There's a lock and key on there, like never to open up again. Like can't nobody unlock it but Jesus, and he don't need it unlocked. So I'm like, I'm done. When I say that was so traumatizing, y'all. Like, absolutely traumatizing. But that's the story time. That's what happened. And we're not going to talk about the fact that later that week, it was Friday going into Saturday. It was like maybe 12:31 in the morning in pain. What the heck is happening? End up having to call the ambulance again, back in the ER with colitis. I'm 42. I've never had colitis in my life. What do you mean? So I'm on antibiotics and all this pain. That whole week was just, a mess. So yeah, single ladies, I know it gets hard sometimes, but fight them demons, pray that lust away, because it's just not worth it. It is just not worth it, real tea. But that's it, y'all. That's the story time. That's what happened. And I would never hump again. Never. I'm not doing it. So anyway, see y'all in episode 3. Oh gosh, that was traumatizing. But yeah, that's it, y'all. Episode 3. I'll see y'all. Peace out.